After the gates vanish, Korea's strongest hunter has nothing left to fight, so I try the most dangerous mission possible, taking a day off. Gina points me toward a friend, and Haein's quiet sword practice turns into one very public amusement park date. The rides are too slow, the crowd is too loud, and my answer is Kaisel, Beru, and a flight no S-rank hunter is supposed to forget. AI Anime and Manga presents Solo Leveling. If Haein's Starry Sky date has you smiling, leave a like, and tell me in the comments, was Jinwoo's date plan smooth or completely unhinged? Subscribe so you do not miss what wakes up next, and channel members get every episode early. It had been 3 days since the gates disappeared. I'd kept myself busy with raids before then, but now I had nothing but free time. Instead, I lay in my bed, and like a bored student spinning a pen, I used ruler's authority to spin one of the Kamisha's wrath daggers. Gina interrupted me when she suddenly barged in on her way to the bathroom. When she opened my bedroom door, I sent the dagger back to inventory and pretended to do something else.
You were spinning a dagger again, weren't you?
Technically, I was training my ruler's authority skill, but from my doting little sister's point of view, it just looked like I was playing a dangerous game. Nope. Gina squinted at me. I had gotten rid of the evidence, so although I was acting suspicious, she couldn't prove anything. As an ordinary human, there wasn't much she could do to catch her S-rank brother in a lie if I was going out of my way to look innocent. She stared at me through narrowed eyes for a few moments before eventually sighing.
Jinwoo.
Yeah?
If you're that bored, why don't you get out of the house? You haven't taken a day off in a while.
She sounded like a mother nagging her son. I chuckled and closed my eyes. What would I do?
Can't you make plans with someone? Like with a friend?
A friend, huh? I opened my eyes again as the words stuck in my head. Many people came to mind, but one stood out. She was probably in the same boat as me and every other hunter, forced to take a breather right now, and I still hadn't made good on my vow to treat her to a meal for accidentally getting a glimpse of her in the shower through my shadow soldier. I usually couldn't see her because we were both so busy, so this was the perfect opportunity. She might be spinning a dagger just like me because she was bored out of her mind, for all I knew. Good idea, sis. Gina flinched as I suddenly bolted up from bed and strode over to her.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. I passed my sister en route to the bathroom. She caught the unfamiliar look on my face and called after me.
Wait, where are you going?
I grinned at her. On a date. Enough. Haein stopped swinging her wooden sword. She had practiced her swordsmanship until her white training uniform was soaked through with sweat. She turned around to face the master of the dojo, an older man in a similar uniform who was missing an arm. He gestured for her to sit down, and Haein did so, kneeling politely as she put down her wooden sword. The old man was her swordsmanship teacher. As an S-rank hunter, she was nearly unmatched physically, but she still needed to train skills that played to her strengths. Hence, Haein had chosen this quiet Kumdo dojo to practice the way of the sword whenever she had had time. Her teacher, Sheol Song, who was proud of her for never wasting a single day, sat down across from her.
I sense much hesitation in your sword lately, Haein.
His words compelled Haein to look up, her face grim. Sheol made eye contact and continued softly.
I'm concerned that you may have developed fear in your heart.
Haein gave no answer, but she didn't have to. In addition to running a dojo, Sheol went on raids as a hunter whenever the association requested his assistance, so he understood her fears. No one had ever seen a gate like the monolith before. There was no telling what kind of terrifying creatures would come out of it. Even the strongest people knew fear. In fact, the strong felt a fear in their bones that ordinary people would never know. Sheol let his eyes shut and slowly nodded as he reflected on his past.
Of course you're scared. Why wouldn't you be? I've been there. I can't compare the magic beasts I've met to the magic beasts you've encountered, but that time I lost my arm.
At that moment, the phone that Haein had tucked away in the corner so she wouldn't be disturbed began to ring.
How can a hunter not answer her phone?
I'm sorry, Master.
Haein bowed in apology and ran to pick up. As Sheol waited for her to wrap up her call so he could finish his story, he noticed a delighted look on her face. Haein tried her best to hide it, but because she was usually rather expressionless, Sheol caught the change in her expression. Haein walked back to Sheol after hanging up and cautiously told him,
Master, something came up, so I have to go.
Her cheeks were flushed. Seeing her eyes lit up, Chio realized he may have made the wrong assumption. The hesitation he had seen in her sword hadn't come from fear.
Of course. Get going then.
Bewildered, Chio nodded and gave her leave.
I'll be off.
Haein left with a spring in her step. Chio gave a bemused smile as he watched her go.
I see. So that's it?
Chio laughed softly. Chio wondered who was lucky enough to garner the affections of such a charming and sincere young woman. Seeing his esteemed pupil so happy gratified him as well. Isn't that Hunter Jinwoo Sung? What, where? Damn, it really is Jinwoo Sung. The amusement park was packed with weekend visitors who recognized me and gawked in amazement. Who's the woman with him? His girlfriend? Wait a minute, isn't that Hunter Haein from the Hunters Guild? Seriously? Whoa, those two are dating? Haein walked beside me, her short and neat hairstyle allowing her to move freely. Not used to having so much attention on her, she lowered her head and murmured to me.
Do you like these kinds of places?
I answered with a smile. Not particularly, but I've always wanted to come to a place like this at least once. I wasn't wearing the ice-cold glare I had when killing magic beasts. I had an impish grin on my face, and Haein couldn't help but notice how her heart sped up at the sight. I was an outstanding S-rank hunter, so there was no way I didn't notice her racing heart either. She flushed at the realization. She asked another question in an attempt to distract me.
So why me?
Because you're the only friend I have.
Pardon?
When had we become friends? Haein looked up at me as she tried to recall, and I smiled mischievously when our eyes met. That's what you said to that weird statue, right? Oh, that. The day she had entered the double dungeon to save me, she'd said something to that effect to the angel statue inside. The angel statue had asked, "What is your relationship to Jinwoo Sung?" Haein had answered,
We're friends.
I was most likely referring to that.
You were listening to us?
More like, I overheard you. My hearing is better than most. It was slightly mortifying for Haein that instead of helping me, she'd ended up needing me to come to her rescue. That was one of many times I had saved her life.
By the way, what was the deal with that strange dungeon?
I had promised to explain it to her someday, but I didn't think the time was right just yet. I need to process some of my thoughts first. I still don't fully know what's what right now, but I'll tell you once I do. Haein nodded in understanding. As the conversation came to a lull, I looked around us. Over here. Please look over here too. I'm a big fan, Hunter Sung. People had gathered around us like a swarm of bees, holding up their cell phones as if they'd run into celebrities on a busy street. In fact, most of them were more familiar with my face than they were with most of the A-list celebrities out there, since I had been shown on every TV channel after the appearance of the monolithic gate. Normally, I would have shrugged it off with a smile, but I didn't want anything to interrupt this day off with a friend. Come out. My hard-working, unpaid bodyguards, Igris and the 30 elite knights, emerged from the shadows and surrounded me and Haein in a circle. Igris especially got to work, admonishing individuals taking flash photography with a wag of his index finger. Haein was flustered by their escort of knights.
Doesn't this just draw more attention?
As long as we can't see the crowd, you know? Haein found herself nodding at the strangely persuasive logic of my statement. She did feel more relaxed, shielded from the mob. When was the last time she'd left her house to do something fun? Haein had become a hunter 2 years ago, and she had never felt fully comfortable with taking a day off in that time. Mostly, she worried that her colleagues would get hurt when she wasn't on the job. At the same time, she worried about doing a bad job on every raid she participated in. Haein was always nervous and tense in some way. However, Haein thought that it was different when she was with me. She could depend on me. When Haein was with me, she could forget about work and her colleagues' expectations, and she felt like she could go back to being a regular woman living her life. Haein took a step closer to me without realizing it and blushed. She thought I smelled nice, and the realization made her blush even more. Looking at Haein's content expression, I had just one regret. I should have done this sooner. I scanned the various attractions and pointed at a drop tower. Do you want to go on that?
Sure.
At the quick agreement, I pointed at another ride. What about that one?
Okay.
Or the one beside it?
That looks good too.
Are you up for all of them?
Yes, I am.
I gazed down at the blushing woman next to me and chuckled. I guess I wasn't the only one who wanted to come here. I was relieved that she seemed to be enjoying herself. I gently grabbed her by the wrist and led her to the nearest ride. Then let's go on all of them. Unfortunately, the ride wasn't as fun as I had hoped. Eek. Eek? I had snagged a front seat, but while everyone behind me screamed their heads off, I watched the goings-on of the park as it zipped by. That kid's gonna drop his ice cream. Oh dear, I knew it. Wait, is the food court over there? But it's too early to eat dinner. I was bored. As soon as the roller coaster started going at full throttle, my surroundings began to move like a slow-motion video. I could probably ride this roller coaster standing up if I wanted to. For a moment, I simply stared ahead. I tried very hard not to yawn as I looked over my shoulder. Behind me were Igris and a few other soldiers who had wanted to go on the ride, and behind them were civilians screaming with glee. Their facial muscles expressed their thrill and enjoyment. I could hear their hearts beating so hard they sounded like they were about to explode. I put my hand on my chest to feel my own heart. I gave a wry smile as I felt my usual heartbeat, leaping up with all my might to smash my fist into the humongous stone statue. Now that was thrilling. And that time I was chased by those centipedes in the penalty zone. That had been 10,000 times scarier than this. I shook my head to get rid of these thoughts. Look at me thinking about monsters when I came all this way to have fun. I couldn't believe myself. And judging by the expression on my companion's face, she was in the same predicament. I chortled and pulled Haein out of her thoughts. You aren't enjoying this, are you?
Oh. No, I am.
I appreciated that I didn't have to yell, since she also had heightened senses. So how come you didn't scream once? This was the 5th ride we had been on. Every ride had claimed to be full of thrills, but Haein hadn't even let out a surprised "oh." Haein was an S-rank hunter as well, and though she wasn't as powerful as me, she was above and beyond ordinary people. I was relieved to see that it wasn't just me. At that moment, I was filled with a desire to show her the world through my eyes. Baru detected my intention and tried to stop me.
My king, that might be dangerous for this woman.
It's okay. If Haein falls, you make sure to catch her no matter what. And if you miss her, you know what'll happen, right?
As you wish, my liege.
With no one else to stop me, I turned to Haein. Never mind these rides. Do you want to try something super fun?
Something super fun?
As soon as the roller coaster stopped, I led an intrigued Haein to the main plaza. Wow! People were amazed by the sight of the Black Knights guarding us, but their exclamations soon turned to screams. Ah! What is that? The shadow soldiers pushed back the crowd to make space for a huge black magic beast that rose from the ground. It flapped its wings and roared at the sky. Kree! It was the first time Haein had seen a winged dragon this close. Her reaction wasn't much different from the onlookers.
Oh my goodness.
Haein stared at the creature in front of her. I gestured to her. Quick, hop on. She seemed thrown for a loop as she spotted me already astride the winged dragon.
You want me to get on that?
I impatiently lifted her up using ruler's authority.
Oh.
Haein was caught off guard by the pull of the invisible force, but that was only the first of the reactions I was expecting from her. It was merely the beginning. Haein's jaw hung open as she was situated behind me. I gave an order to the dragon. Let's fly. Kree! As if he had been waiting for this moment, Kaisel flapped his enormous wings and launched into the sky. Haein gulped as she looked down at the people getting farther and farther away. This sensation was incomparable to riding a roller coaster. Her arms naturally wrapped around my waist. When we were high enough that the onlookers were out of view, Haein yelled.
Oh, over there.
Pardon?
Why is that ant following us?
I craned my neck down and saw that Baru was closely following behind Kaisel. I couldn't help but laugh at seeing Baru's face scrunched in concentration. He's a lifeguard.
Sorry?
Hang on tight. The real ride starts now.
What?
But there was no need to explain further. I felt Haein's arms tighten around my waist. If I was an ordinary man, she would have folded me in half. It was a testament to how frightened she was. On the other hand, I was excited that my plan was going swimmingly so far. Kaisel, maximum speed. Kree! As Kaisel shot off, Haein screamed for the first time that day. The small dragon split the air as he sped along. Whoosh! Kaisel took us to places only S-rank hunters could go. We ventured inside a rainy, windy storm cloud. We flew dangerously close to a high mountain and over an endless field of snow. Of all the places we went, the best by far was watching the sun set over the ocean. Kaisel slowed down, and the ocean breeze caressed our cheeks as we watched the sun disappear into the horizon against an orange-colored sky. Haein's eyes shone like the crimson-tinged sky as she took in the marvelous sight. A question suddenly struck her.
Jinwoo. Jinwoo.
Yes?
Why did you even bother with the amusement park?
That amusement park. I took my time in collecting my thoughts. That's where I lost my father to a gate.
Oh.
If my father had failed to close the gate and a dungeon break had happened, the amusement park would no longer be there. But thanks to his sacrifice, it was open and thriving. At first, I had resented my father for leaving my family behind. But somehow, seeing other families having fun there was comforting, and that was good enough for me. I always wanted to go there at least once. In response, Haein simply hugged me without saying a word. I could feel her warmth on my back.
Thank you.
Surprised, I tried to look back at Haein, but she was clinging too closely to me. What? What?
I wanted to make sure to properly thank you. You've helped me in so many ways.
I could sense her sincerity as her body rested on my back, her breath ghosting over my neck and her heart causing a ruckus. Yes, that was good enough. I smiled softly as I directed Kaisel to reverse course.
Where are we going now?
Haein sounded disappointed that we were heading back. I answered, "There's something I want to show you." After flying a great distance, we landed in Japan. It was a restricted area, so not only were there no humans around, but there were also no animals, as they'd fled from the presence of magic beasts. Kaisel landed in a wide, forested location where we couldn't hear even the tiniest creature breathing. Cree. Kaisel lay flat on the ground to let us dismount. I landed on the ground and turned around to help Haein. "Be care." Haein gently landed next to me and rolled her shoulders back before I could extend a helping hand. I laughed at myself for having forgotten what she did for a living.
Where are we?
Haein had just experienced something beyond her wildest dreams, so she looked around with heightened expectations. However, there was nothing to see other than an endless expanse of trees. I placed on the ground a blanket I had purchased from the system shop. "It won't be any fun if I tell you, so come here and lie down first."
I'm sorry?
Had she misheard? But there's no way she, an S-rank hunter, could have heard wrong. Plus, I had already sat down. Come on, hurry. I rushed her as if there was nothing odd about this, but I could hear Haein's heart pounding like it was about to explode out of her chest.
Are you serious?
She checked again. I nodded without a moment's hesitation. I made sure Haein was reluctantly approaching before fully lying down. Soon, she made up her mind and lay down next to me, ramrod straight.
I'm ready.
Haein had her eyes squeezed shut. "Then open your eyes." Haein cautiously opened her eyes at my instructions, and I wordlessly pointed at the sky and the stars.
Oh.
Haein unconsciously let out a sigh as she gazed at the sea of stars above her. Beautiful. There was no other word to describe it. Pleased with her reaction, I explained. "I saw this night sky when I came here to deal with a dungeon break. Tired, I'd lain down to get some rest, but I couldn't fall asleep because it had been too bright. Annoyed, I had opened my eyes to this array of starlight, my chest welling with emotions. I thought about how nice it would be if I could stare up at this night sky with someone. That night, it had been just me and the stars in the quiet of the forest. I had hoped to share this sensation, this moment with another. And now, I felt at ease having someone close to me who felt the same way I did. It felt like a blight that had been in my heart was gently melting away.
May I hold your hand?
As if she wasn't already. A smile bloomed on my face, and I turned my hand over to interlock my fingers with hers. Her hand, cold yet soft to the touch, fit perfectly inside mine. Countless stars shone down ever so quietly over the entwined couple.